Started. So welcome to a Startup Centre Victoria meetup, and this month we are going to learn about an important resource available to businesses that are starting off and may not know about it, and primarily it's the Self-Employment Assistance Program, which a lot of people may recall being the old NEAS program, but we're going to talk a bit more about that. I'd just like to pay my respects to the landowners. I'm dialing in from Jara country. I think you might be Kulin country, Surina, and all over the region, wherever you are. So our guest today is Surina Wills. She's the Regional Manager for Victoria and Tasmania, so that's a big patch to cover, with ASURIA. And we've got Nick Lazarewski on the just listening in as well on the road. So very mobile in the type of work that they do, I'm sure. So welcome, Surina. I must ask you to take yourself off mute. I just want you to start off. Well, who should be paying attention to the Self-Employment Assistance Program? You know, what type of person is it aimed at?
So the Self-Employment Assistance Program is exactly right, the NEAS version 2. And so it's the difference between the old program and this program is really you don't have to have a brand new business idea. So you might have a business idea, you're not even sure about whether you think you could launch it, come and talk to us. If you already have, say, a business that's going and you want to really charge it up to get to the next level, come and talk to us. If you have a business that is existing and you just want to review how you're doing, you could do a health check, come and talk to us. So those are the three types of individuals or companies that might want to speak to us. So this program allows for a conversation first with our business mentor, of whom Nick was one until he became he got promoted to team leader. And then the business mentor can make an assessment of where you are and have a conversation. What is the right next step for you? So who is actually eligible? Well, a person who is actually anybody who's above 15 is actually eligible for the workshop and the training options that we can provide. But you have to be at least 18 years to be accessing coaching. So that's really what it's about. It's about getting you to launch your business or to relaunch the business, to be viable, and to, if you are currently on income support, say, for example, that you are off income support. So the criteria means that you're not prohibited from working in Australia, which that's something that we can have a conversation about. You are not a full-time student as well. And you cannot be an undischarged bankrupt. Other than that, it's a conversation about what is the type of business that you are hoping to launch. And there are some things that essentially we cannot put forward, and that has to pass the public scrutiny. So, for example, if you had a gambling business, or if you were in the sex industry, or potentially you were in organization or a company or a business that was alternative healing, we might have to have a conversation with you about that, but I'm sure we can guide you to where you can get the support that you might want.
So is this service free, Surina?
It is.
It's sounding really great. So perhaps we should back step and just talk about who funds it and how is this resource available to us?
Absolutely. So this is a federally funded program. So it is, you would need to be eligible with a criteria that's set by the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations. And if you are currently on income support, it actually allows you to have continued support through a self-employment assistance allowance that is equivalent of the job seeker payment.
Okay, because that is something that obviously is of interest.
Mm-hmm,
Someone might be in between jobs or in
mm-hmm,
a job and about to take the leap into the business.
mm-hmm,
So, how will they know if they're eligible to
mm-hmm.
actually get financial payments to assist them while they're growing their business?
So if you are currently getting income support, if you're getting payments, whether it's job seeker payments, parenting payments, um, I think that's about the key payments that you would get, then you are eligible for an allowance. If
Okay.
you are not currently eligible for payments or you haven't applied, you'd have to be applying for that yourself, and then that assessment will be made. Now, that's the allowance part. But if you're already doing a bit, you're already running a business and you want to get into coaching, you're still allowed. You're still allowed to apply. You're just not going to get that financial support. But there is something called a business cost reimbursement that you can access. So that's the same for everyone. So you might need to have, for example, payments on insurance, public liability insurance, for example, or you might need some equipment, or you might need to pay for your digital advertising or something of that nature. That is actually allowable under the business cost reimbursement as well, which is a nice thing. It didn't used to be available under NIS.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
so you have to be eligible for to be on a welfare payment to access
Mm-hmm.
reimbursement.
No, you don't have, but the reimbursement is a business cost, so you don't have to worry
Separate.
about that.
I just wanted to clarify
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
absolutely.
That's even better.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is actually involved to apply and participate in the program? How do you go about that? And
So,
we're talking to people all over Victoria here.
yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way is to actually have a chat with us. So I'm more than happy to provide information about our general line, or alternatively, you can go onto our website, asuria.com.au, and look for starting a business, and then you can register, and one of us will give you a call.
Oh, well, that sounds really easy.
It's the easiest thing. Yes.
That's, that sounds really great. And the type of mentors that you have, what skills, breadth of
Mhm.
skills do they bring to the and experience do they bring to the roles?
Yes. So all of our mentors in Victoria and Tassie, that's the ones I can talk to because I manage that team. And they are, most of them, all about 90% of them have small business ownership experience. So in different industries, we don't tend to have specialists because, as you can imagine, there's so many types of industries. It would be impossible for us to have experts in all of the industries, but all of them have a minimum of 10 years of business experience, business ownership experience, or somebody like Nick, for example, he used to work with ANZ for the small business banking. So he can assess businesses for the financials and make suggestions, provide advice, provide coaching. And if you did need specific expertise, we would be able to provide a range of, I don't want to say referrals, but suggestions about who you can speak to, because we're very chatty people. We're very social people. We talk to a lot of different organizations and different groups, chambers of commerce. It could be business associations. It could be specialist companies, that have information that would support the individual participant in the program.
Great. And when you say mentors, I'm thinking about the time that you meet,
Mhm,
set times, or it can be flexible to suit
mhm.
the participants.
So we work weekdays, and we are reasonably flexible about how we meet. So if a person wants to talk to us just to explore, we can give them a call. So that's not an issue. If they want to move further on and they want to actually join us and look at a business plan, for example, we can meet them face to face. or it can be in an online situation. Yeah, it is office hours. We work in a government contract, so it is office hours. So yeah, that's the limitation.
Oh.
But we do encourage, we have offices around different parts of regional Victoria. So there's one where you are, Kerry, for example. There's one in Shepparton where Nick is based. And there's one in Bendigo, there's one in Maryborough, and there's Kyneton, and there's Albury-Wodonga. So you can have a meeting with them there. If it's not suitable and it is possible, we can do it online. That's not an issue at all. That's actually acceptable nowadays.
Yes, it is. And here we are meeting online today. So that's,
Yes.
well, I think that was a really good overview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if there's any questions from our audience that they'd like to ask or something that you'd like to add. So,
Yeah, I'm happy to take questions.
all right, we have
Mm-hmm.
a question. Are there specific intake periods or can you just start any time?
Yeah, it kind of depends, Bradley, on what it is that you're hoping to do. So we have specific start dates for training. Absolutely. So typically the intake is once a month. And that training is typically, again, we call it a micro business skill set. And that's for 8 weeks. And that's online. So, yeah.
Well, every month, you can't complain about that.
No, can't complain about that. Then it really is dependent on what you do. So if, for example, yeah, structured training. Okay. Say more about the, I didn't quite see the
Content and format.
Okay. So the micro business skill set, which is a starting point for the majority of participants. If you've never actually run a business before, or you've had a passion, so you're technically very good at what it is that you're selling, but you need maybe help with the financials, or understanding what marketing looks like, or understanding what the how to do an analysis of the target market that you're trying to hit, then micro business skill set is the way to go. So for the first 4 weeks, what you do is you attend an online course, and there'll be a trainer who runs it, and that's on a Tuesday, and it's interactive. And then there is a recorded version of it as well. And then you work with a trainer to work through understanding what it is that has been covered, and that provides you with the information, knowledge to then go and work on your business plan, financial plans. That becomes a requirement for submission to department to get accepted into coaching.
Right. So that's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
One-on-one mentor type coaching.
Correct. And so then I'll talk about the mentoring now. So the moment the mentoring is, there are intakes, but typically there's 2 a month. So it's not like you have to wait forever. It's just about the quality of the business plan that you've developed. And if it meets all the criteria, we can submit it as soon as you've given it to us and it meets all the criteria. We submit it. There are certain dates in the month that it gets reviewed by the department. But otherwise, it's two a month is a lot, actually. And then what happens when you sign a coaching agreement is that you have access to the mentors for 52 weeks. So the 52 weeks typically are around a bi-monthly contact. So every 2 months, you get an appointment that you have with your mentor, but you have access to them by phone as well and email. So we also provide information sessions slash a knowledge-based online sessions, so that it might be a specific content topic. So it might be face-to-face, it might be online. Like one of the sessions that was run last week was about TikTok and how to use that to accelerate your marketing. Yeah, so that's an example.
Sounds really good. Have we answered all the questions that everyone has? Feel free to type them in. And I'm seeing the advantage of this, Startup Centre Victoria has a
Mhm,
pre-accelerator program, but it's
mhm.
one intake per year, and it's wonderful to be able to refer on
Yeah.
another service like this. We've also got Small Business Victoria,
Yes.
so a different set of or a different type of service again. How do you see the difference between what's offered through state government and federal?
It's typically about the length of time and the access to the number of sessions, and that's really the key difference. And we typically see it as a parallel or a feeder. So it depends on where the person is, because the training itself is actually that you can do. So you can do the 8 weeks micro business skill set, or if you want to articulate that into certificate 3 or a certificate 4 in new business and entrepreneurship, that's funded as well. So everything is funded. You can get as much knowledge as you want. So if you then are using the pre-accelerator program or the small business Victoria resources, it just adds another layer. I think it's just adding to the skill sets. Yeah.
And just so important for us to know about each other. So I really do thank you, Surina and Nick, for dialing in, because it's about sharing knowledge about what's out there and
Mm,
taking advantage of these wonderful services. So I really do thank you for that. When we post this recording, we will put a link to your website.
mhm.
And
That'd be
yeah,
great.
we really do thank you for your time today.
My pleasure. Now I see Brad has a last question.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, the possibility of financial support was something hadn't considered before. Yep. Yes. So yes, Brad, are you currently registered with Services Australia? Yeah. So yeah, have a chat with them, and then yeah. So it definitely is. You can still access some of the services without getting there, but if you want to have the financial support ticked off, yeah, check them out first.